Timeless Lessons, a Journey Through Generations. Hi, I am Lily. I clutched my ticket tightly as I stepped onto the train platform. Excitement bubbled within me as I thought about the upcoming visit to my grandparents in Bordeaux. "I can't wait to see Grandma and Grandpa," I exclaimed to my friend Sarah, who had come to see me off. "I know, right? It's been ages since you last visited them," Sarah replied with a smile. As the train whistle blew, I found my seat by the window and settled in. I gazed out at the passing scenery, my mind buzzing with anticipation. "I've missed them so much," I murmured to myself. A kindly voice interrupted my thoughts. "Excuse me, young lady, is this seat taken?" An elderly man asked, gesturing to the empty seat beside me. I looked up and smiled warmly. "No, it's not taken. Please have a seat," I said, shifting my bag to make room. "Thank you, my dear," the man said, easing himself into the seat with a contented sigh. "My name's Henri, and this is my wife Marie," he continued, nodding towards the elegant woman beside him. "It's nice to meet you, Henri Marie. I'm Lily," I replied, extending my hand. "We couldn't help but overhear that you're headed to Bordeaux. Visiting family, are you?" Marie asked, her eyes twinkling with interest. I nodded eagerly. "Yes, I'm going to see my grandparents. I haven't seen them in ages, and I'm so excited to spend time with them," I explained. Henri smiled warmly. "Ah, there's nothing quite like family, is there? My Marie and I are on our way to Bordeaux as well. We're visiting some old friends," he said, his eyes glinting with nostalgia. As the train began to move, I found myself engrossed in conversation with Henri and Marie. They shared stories of their travels and adventures, regaling me with tales of far-off lands and unforgettable experiences. Before I knew it, the train was pulling into Bordeaux station. My heart swelled with anticipation as I gathered my belongings. "Thank you for keeping me company, Henri and Marie. It was lovely meeting you both," I said, sincerity shining in my eyes. "The pleasure was ours, Lily. Safe travels, and give your grandparents our warmest regards," Henri said, clasping my hand warmly. I stepped off the train, my heart brimming with joy and excitement. As I made my way through the bustling station, I couldn't help but feel grateful for the unexpected encounter with Henri and Marie. It was a reminder that sometimes the most memorable journeys are the ones we share with others. Henri leaned forward, a twinkle in his eye. "You know, Lily, we've had quite a few adventures in our time," he said, his voice warm and inviting. Marie nodded, her smile reflecting the memories. "Oh yes, dear, we've seen many places and met so many interesting people," she chimed in. I leaned in closer, eager to hear more. "Wow, like what kind of adventures?" I asked, my curiosity piqued. Henri chuckled softly. "Well, let me tell you about the time we went hiking in the Swiss Alps. The air was crisp and the mountains were breathtaking," he began, his voice filled with nostalgia. Marie's eyes sparkled as she picked up the story. "Yes, and we stumbled upon a hidden waterfall. The water was so clear and cool we couldn't resist taking a dip," she added, a hint of mischief in her tone. I listened intently, picturing the scene in my mind. "That sounds amazing. What else have you done?" I asked eagerly. Henri paused, a thoughtful expression crossing his face. Well, there was the time we went on a safari in Africa," he mused, his ease distant as he recalled the memory. Marie nodded, her voice filled with excitement. "Oh yes, we saw lions and elephants and giraffes. It was like being in a nature documentary," she exclaimed, her hands gesturing animatedly. I couldn't help but gasp in amazement. "Wow, that must have been incredible. I've always wanted to go on a safari," I said, my eyes wide with wonder. Henri and Marie smiled warmly, sharing in my excitement. "There's so much more we could tell you, Lily. We've had a lifetime of adventures," Henri said, his voice tinged with fondness. As the train rumbled on, Henri and Marie continued to regale me with stories of their travels. Each tale was more fascinating than the last, and I hung on to their every word, grateful for the opportunity to share in their adventures. Henri and Marie settled into their seats, exchanging knowing glances before turning their attention to me. Lilly, we've been to so many places over the years, Henri began, his voice carrying a sense of adventure. Marie nodded in agreement. Yes, dear. We've seen bustling cities, tranquil beaches, and everything in between, she added, her eyes lighting up with memories. Wow, that sounds amazing, I exclaimed, leaning forward eagerly. Can you tell me about some of your favorite places? Henri chuckled warmly. Of course, Lilly. Let me tell you about the time we visited Paris, he said, a nostalgic smile playing on his lips. Ah, Paris, Marie sighed dreamily. The city of love and lights. We spent hours wandering the streets, exploring hidden cafes, and admiring famous landmarks like the Eiffel Tower and the Louvre, she reminisced, her voice filled with fondness. I listened intently, picturing myself strolling along the cobblestone streets of Paris. What else did you do? I asked, eager for more. Henri leaned in closer, his eyes gleaming with excitement. Well, we also went on a cruise to the Caribbean, he said, his voice tinged with adventure. Marie nodded, a mischievous glint in her eye. Yes, and we danced under the stars on the deck of the ship, surrounded by the sound of waves and the warm Caribbean breeze, she added, a smile playing on her lips. I couldn't help but smile at the image they painted. That sounds magical, I said, feeling a sense of wanderlust stirring within me. As the train rumbled on, Henri and Marie continued to share stories of their travels, each one more captivating than the last. They told me about their adventures in far-off lands and the people they had met along the way. But it wasn't just tales of distant places that they shared. They also opened up about their family history, showing me old photographs and heirlooms that had been passed down through generations. These are pictures of our parents and grandparents, Marie explained, her voice soft with nostalgia. They may be old, but they hold a treasure trove of memories. I gazed at the faded photographs, feeling a sense of connection to Henri and Marie's past. Thank you for sharing these with me, I said, gratitude filling my heart. It means a lot. Henri smiled warmly, placing a hand on my shoulder. It's our pleasure, Lilly. We're happy to share our stories with you, he said, his words echoing with sincerity. As the train rolled on towards Bordeaux, I couldn't help but feel grateful for the opportunity to share in Henri and Marie's rich tapestry of memories. Their stories opened my eyes to a world of possibilities, igniting a newfound sense of curiosity and wonder within me. With every story Henri and Marie told me, I felt like I was getting to know my family better. It's like I'm right there with you, I said, smiling at them. Marie reached out and patted my hand. We're glad you feel that way, dear. Family is important, she said, her voice gentle and reassuring. Henri nodded in agreement. Yes, Lilly. Knowing where you come from helps you understand who you are, he added, his eyes twinkling with wisdom. I thought about what Henri said. It made sense. Learning about my family's history made me feel like I was part of something bigger. It made me feel proud. As the train rolled on, I couldn't help but feel a sense of happiness wash over me. I thought about my grandparents and the stories they had shared with me over the years. Each one was like a piece of a puzzle, helping me understand my place in the world. Thank you, Henri Marie. I feel so lucky to have met you, I said, sincerity shining in my eyes. Henri smiled warmly. The pleasure is ours, Lilly. We're happy to share our stories with you, he said, his words filled with kindness. Marie nodded, her eyes shining with affection. Yes, dear. We're glad you're here, she added, her voice soft and gentle. As we continued our journey towards Bordeaux, I felt a deep sense of connection with Henri and Marie. They welcomed me into their world with open arms, and for that, I would always be grateful. I can't wait to tell Grandma and Grandpa about all the wonderful stories you've shared with me, I said, excitement bubbling in my voice. Henri chuckled softly. I'm sure they'll be delighted to hear them, Lily. Family stories are meant to be shared, he replied, his tone warm and encouraging. Marie nodded in agreement. Yes, dear. Your grandparents will be thrilled to know that you've learned so much about our family history, she said, her smile radiant. With each passing mile, I felt a growing sense of closeness to Henri and Marie. They had become more than just fellow passengers on a train. They were like family to me. And as we finally arrived in Bordeaux, I knew that our bond would only continue to grow stronger with time. As Henri and Marie shared more of their stories, I found myself thinking a lot about history. Why do you think history is so important? I asked, turning to them with a curious expression. Henri smiled warmly. Well, Lily, history helps us understand where we come from and how the world has changed over time, he explained, his voice gentle and wise. Marie nodded in agreement. Yes, dear, it teaches us important lessons about the past and helps us make better decisions for the future, she added, her eyes sparkling with insight. Their words resonated with me. I never thought about it like that before, I admitted, feeling a newfound appreciation for the importance of history. Henri leaned in closer, his expression serious. History also helps us remember the struggles and triumphs of those who came before us. It's a way of honoring their memory, he said, his voice filled with reverence. I nodded, feeling a sense of reverence wash over me. That makes sense. It's like we're all connected through history, I mused, feeling a sense of wonder at the thought. Marie smiled warmly. Exactly, dear. History is like a thread that connects us to our past, present, and future, she said, her words echoing with wisdom. As the train rolled on, I found myself reflecting on the lessons I had learned from Henri and Marie's stories. Each tale was filled with valuable insights and important life lessons. I never realized how much we can learn from history, I said, turning to Henri and Marie with a grateful smile. Henri nodded, his eyes twinkling with pride. History has a way of teaching us important lessons that we can carry with us throughout our lives, he said, his words filled with wisdom. Marie reached out and took my hand. We're glad you see the value in history, dear. It's an important part of who we are, she said, her voice soft and reassuring. As the train continued its journey towards Bordeaux, I felt a deep sense of gratitude for the opportunity to learn from Henri and Marie. Their stories opened my eyes to the importance of history and the timeless lessons it holds for us all. As the train neared Bordeaux, I felt a sense of gratitude welling up inside me. Henri, Marie, I just want to say thank you, I said, turning to them with a warm smile. Henri and Marie exchanged a glance, their eyes twinkling with kindness. Oh, dear Lily, there's no need to thank us. We've enjoyed sharing our stories with you, Marie replied, her voice gentle and reassuring. Henri nodded in agreement. Yes, Lily, it's been a pleasure getting to know you. We're glad we could teach you a thing or two, he added, his voice filled with sincerity. I smiled, feeling a sense of warmth spreading through me. Well, I just want you to know how much I appreciate it. Your stories have meant a lot to me, I said, sincerity shining in my eyes. Marie reached out and took my hand. We're glad we could be a part of your journey, dear. Remember, you're always welcome in our home, she said, her words filled with kindness. I nodded, feeling touched by their generosity. Thank you, Marie. That means a lot to me, I said, gratitude filling my heart. Henri smiled warmly. You're welcome, Lily, and if you ever need anything, don't hesitate to ask, he said, his voice filled with warmth. As the train approached Bordeaux, a bittersweet feeling washed over me. Well, it looks like we've arrived, I said, turning to Henri and Marie with a smile tinged with sadness. Henri nodded, his expression reflecting my sentiments. Yes, Lily, it's time to say goodbye," he replied, his voice tinged with regret. Marie reached out and took my hand. "We're going to miss you, dear, but we're grateful for the time we've spent together," she said, her voice filled with warmth. Tears welled up in my eyes as I realized it was time to part ways. "I'm going to miss you too, Henri and Marie. Thank you for everything," I said, sincerity shining in my voice. Henri smiled warmly. "You're welcome, Lilly. And remember, you're always welcome in our home," he said, his words echoing in my mind. As I stepped off the train, I felt a mixture of emotions swirling inside me. On one hand, I was sad to say goodbye to Henri and Marie, but on the other hand, I felt grateful for the time we had spent together. As I made my way through the bustling station, I couldn't help but feel a sense of happiness wash over me. Despite the sadness of saying goodbye, I knew that I would always cherish the memories of my journey with Henri and Marie. "Thank you, Henri and Marie. I'll never forget this journey," I said, turning back to wave goodbye one last time. Henri and Marie waved back, their smiles filled with warmth. "Take care, dear Lilly, and remember, you're always a part of our family," Marie called out, her words echoing in my heart. As I walked away, I felt a sense of gratitude and contentment settle over me. Even though our time together had come to an end, I knew that the memories of my journey with Henri and Marie would stay with me forever, and for that, I will always be thankful. The end. Here are 10 English words, phrases from the story, along with examples from the text and real-life usage to help English learners. 1. Clutched, verb. Explanation: holding on to something tightly with one's hand or hands. Example from the text: "I clutched my ticket tightly as I stepped onto the train platform." Real-life usage: she clutched her purse tightly as she walked through the crowded street. 2. Bubbling, adjective. Explanation: describing a feeling of excitement or enthusiasm that is growing. Example from the text: excitement bubbled within me as I thought about the upcoming visit to my grandparents in Bordeaux. Real-life usage: her laughter bubbled as she watched her favorite movie. 3. Regaling, verb. Explanation: entertaining someone with stories or anecdotes. Example from the text: they shared stories of their travels and adventures, regaling me with tales of far-off lands. Real-life usage: Grandpa regaled us with stories of his childhood adventures. 4. Nostalgia, noun. Explanation: a sentimental longing for the past. Example from the text: Henri's eyes glinted with nostalgia as he spoke of their journey. Real-life usage: the old photographs filled her with nostalgia for her youth. 5. Mischief, noun. Explanation: playful misbehavior or troublemaking. Example from the text: Marie's voice was filled with excitement, recalling their mischief in Africa. Real-life usage: the children got into mischief when they played pranks on their neighbors. 6. Tinged, adjective. Explanation: slightly affected by a particular feeling. Example from the text: Henri's voice was tinged with regret as he spoke about saying goodbye. Real-life usage: her smile was tinged with sadness when she talked about leaving her hometown. 7. Reverence, noun. Explanation: deep respect or admiration. Example from the text: Henri's voice was filled with reverence as he spoke about the importance of history. Real-life usage: she showed reverence for her elders by listening to their wisdom. 8. Curiosity, noun. Explanation: a strong desire to learn or know about something. Example from the text: Lily's curiosity was piqued by Henri and Marie's stories. Real-life usage: his curiosity about space led him to study astrophysics. 9. Wanderlust, noun. Explanation: a strong desire to travel and explore. Example from the text. I felt a sense of wanderlust stirring within me as they described their adventures. Real-life usage. She had a deep wanderlust and dreamed of backpacking through Europe. 10. Bittersweet. Adjective. Explanation. Evoking both happiness and sadness. Example from the text. A bittersweet feeling washed over me as the train neared Bordeaux. Real-life usage. Leaving home for college was bittersweet. She was excited for the new adventure but sad to leave her family. From the story, readers can learn several important things. 1. The value of family. The interaction between Lilly, Henri, and Marie emphasizes the importance of family connections. Lily's journey to visit her grandparents highlights the joy and significance of spending time with loved ones. 2. Sharing stories and memories. Henri and Marie share their life experiences and adventures with Lilly, illustrating the value of storytelling in passing down family history and wisdom. This emphasizes the importance of preserving and sharing personal narratives. 3. Appreciation for history. Through Henri and Marie's discussions about their travels and family history, readers can learn the importance of understanding and appreciating the past. History serves as a guide for making better decisions and provides insights into cultural heritage. 4. Cultural appreciation. The diverse settings and experiences shared by Henri and Marie, from visiting Paris to going on a safari in Africa, showcase the richness of different cultures and environments. This encourages readers to embrace diversity and explore new perspectives. 5. The power of curiosity and wanderlust. Lily's curiosity about Henri and Marie's adventures reflects the human desire for exploration and discovery. This highlights the importance of nurturing curiosity and embracing opportunities for personal growth through travel and learning. 6. Emotional intelligence and empathy. The bittersweet emotions experienced by Lilly and her companions as they part ways demonstrate the complexity of human relationships. Readers can learn about empathy, understanding, and the importance of acknowledging and processing emotions. 7. Lessons from generations past. Henri and Marie's reverence for history and tradition, as well as their willingness to share their knowledge with Lilly, illustrate the value of learning from older generations. This emphasizes the importance of respecting and honoring the wisdom passed down through family lines. Overall, readers can learn about the significance of family bonds, storytelling, cultural exploration, emotional awareness, and intergenerational wisdom from the experiences and interactions depicted in the story. The writing in the story appears to be at a simpler, more basic level, possibly suitable for English learners at level A1, according to the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, CEFR. Sentence structure. The sentences follow a straightforward subject-verb-object structure, typical of beginner-level writing. There are no complex sentence constructions or clauses that might pose difficulty for learners at this level. Vocabulary choice. The vocabulary used consists of common, everyday words that are accessible to learners at the A1 level. Additionally, the story provides clear explanations for each new term introduced, aiding comprehension for learners at a basic level of English proficiency. Narrative clarity. The story maintains a clear and linear narrative, which is important for learners at the A1 level who are still developing their reading comprehension skills. The plot is easy to follow, with no intricate twists or turns that might confuse readers at this level. Dialogues and interactions. The dialogues between characters are simple and reflect natural, everyday language. This allows learners at the A1 level to practice understanding and using conversational English in context. Repetition and reinforcement. The story incorporates repetition of key vocabulary terms and concepts, which is beneficial for learners at the A1 level as they work on building their vocabulary and language skills. In summary, the writing style and content of the story align with the characteristics typically associated with English learners at level A1, according to the CEFR. It provides an accessible and supportive learning experience for individuals who are at the early stages of learning English. This story and voiceover have been provided by English Made Easy. Learn through stories. Copying or re-uploading is strictly prohibited.